Most immigration disasters do not start with fraud. They start with overconfidence. A client once came to me, convinced everything was under control. The work permit had been approved, it was an awful entry. The employer was cooperative, stable family, no criminal history, no visa overstays, and no drama. One form, one box, one silent mistake. The error looked harmless. A single answer on a filing that relied on an old interpretation. One that had quietly shifted inside the agency. A guidance that had started without public notice. No alert, no warning, no updates sent to any of the applicants. The government accepted the filing without any issues. Then the system woke up. Months later, the client received a notice that read like fiction. Suddenly, his lawful presence was framed as questionable. His employment authorization became vulnerable. Travel became dangerous. Nothing new had happened in the client's life. The government simply changed how it read the same facts. The statute had changed. Bureaucracy does not correct gently, it escalates. The cascading consequences came equally as fast. The benefits had been frozen, travel plans canceled, and family anxiety spiraled. A future built on legal status became fragile overnight. The client kept asking the same question: how can they do this when absolutely nothing has changed? That question misunderstands the system. Immigration agencies operate with enormous discretion. Policy memos shift, interpretations evolve, internal trainings change the outcomes of applications without any notice. And the officers are shielded by defense doctrines that courts rarely modify. Government overreach does not always look aggressive. Often, it looks procedural. The intervention required reframing the entire application. The first step involved freezing movement. No travel, no filings, no reactive submissions. The second step required reconstructing the paper trail to determine interest and where the government error lied. Their third step involved elevating the matter through supervisory review channels, and most applicants never reach this level. My courtroom experience matters here. Litigation taught me how agencies respond when accountability enters the room. The argument was not emotional, it was structural. The retroactive interpretation violated the basic administrative principles for discretion and brought them back into the equation. The resolution took time, months, if not weeks, but we reestablished the work authorization and contained the damage. The outcome eventually was positive, but the lessons were sobering. Small errors do not stay small in immigration matters. They escalate. And practical warnings matter. Never assume that approval equals safety. Never assume silence by the government means stability. And never assume yesterday's rules apply today. The paradigm always shifts. Never rely on advice based on outdated templates. Prevention strategies are always unglamorous, but very effective. Over-document your intent. Maintain version copies of every filing. Track policy changes, not just statutes. And avoid unnecessary travel. Build buffer time into every status and every application. Treat immigration like compliance, not paperwork. Government overreach thrives on ambiguity. Clarity is always the best defense. Cases like this explain why relocation planning cannot be undertaken in a casual form. Immigration is not a customer service system. It is an enforcement system with occasional benefits, and it's best left to professionals. Thankfully, we have a community where we share regularly the inner workings of international travel. It's called the Expat Expert Exchange, and we share real scenarios and practical guidance that help people avoid these type of cautionary tales. We provide ongoing updates, strategy discussions, and immigration guidance designed to keep people ahead of policy shifts rather than reacting to them. Some mistakes are invisible until they explode. Staying informed is not optional. It is compulsory. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.